Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. When Cole Redallen dropped by Pound HQ to pick out the colors for his signature Rufus, he also asked that the long pockets get converted into hall pockets. Pound created the double convertible Rufus. Cole's signature Rufus also features double cell phone pockets and double lower zippered side pockets, as well as Velcro receiving patches and a matching Cole Redallen patch. The double convertible Rufus also comes standard with one insulated hall pocket insert to keep your beverages protected and cold. So head over to PoundDiscGolf.com, get yourself a Pound bag today. Welcome inside a live edition of Inside the Circle as we react to round 2 of the USDGC and Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. Headlines right now. Joel Freeman, he was on top after round 1. He's still on top after round 2, up by a stroke over Kyle Klein. Freeman is at 19 under. He backed up his 10 under yesterday with a 9 down today. And Kyle Klein matching the 9 down. A couple of 10s in the field. Bradley Williams, Adam Hammis, and then an 11 under. The hot round of the day goes to Chris Clemens, bogey free to an 11 under. And he's now up into the conversation. On the FPO side at Throw Pink, Evelina Salonen and Henna Blomroos didn't shoot particularly well today, and yet they are still atop the leaderboard. They're at 14 and 12 down, respectively. Ella Hansen, one shot back of Blomroos in third after she put together a very impressive 10 under today. That was the best round by 4 strokes. Holland Handley, Cat Merch, Silva Saarinen shot a 6 under. But Hansen all alone with a hot round. So, Charlie, Josh with you. Josh, welcome back. We missed you yesterday. I hope your city council meeting was highly productive.
It was good. It was a better one, actually. So, yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be back. I would much rather be here talking about disc golf than voting on final plat applications. So,
well, people, we got a little Pocatello like memes in the chat today. So you probably didn't see them, but oh yeah. Oh yeah. So lots to discuss. Another weird one, a little bit in MPO. Like I have to say, I don't think I expected to see Sullivan Tipton back on the lead card again, but he did it. And it wasn't just the ace, an incredible skip ace on hole 7. He just misses the bamboo, skips it off and directly into the chains. The highlight of the day for sure in MPO, but he then put together 8 birdies over the next 10 holes to put together a really nice round. Such an impressive forehand thrower, pretty much in all phases, if you will. You know, he's got the touch, he's got the power, and looked great. But, you know, where are the big names? Where are they at, Josh?
Well, let me scroll for a little bit and then I can find a couple of them. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it's, you know, you have a couple of different stories here, right? You have Eagle, for example. He pairs a 4 down from round 1 with a 6 down today. But it feels like that's less the case. If you look, a lot of our big names, or at least a couple of other ones there, Nicholas Ontil, Gannon Burr, people who we both had on our podium, they both shoot 8 and 7 down today, but just cold in round 1. So, I mean, that's a long way to make up when your leaders are still shooting at or around the hot round. I guess Chris, you know, like you mentioned, has the hot round. So near the hot round, that's a long ways back to be if your leaders are not going to give up strokes easily.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest name, there's a couple guys we need to talk about. Number 1, Simon Lizotte. He shoots a 9 under today after a 5 under yesterday.
Yep.
And, you know, you can get away with a 1-5 under and still have a chance to win. So he's 5 shots back, obviously still very much in the mix. He's, you know, he had 8 birdies in the last 10 holes. He's got to do a little better on the front, but you could say that a lot of players. A lot of players a little slow in the front 9 today. Except maybe, you know, Bradley Williams had a really nice front 9. He got 6 birdies in the first 7 holes. And what's weird is that usually in the past, people would birdie like the first 5 holes.
Yes.
Like that every time. Now, I know hole 3 is different and it's not super birdieable. I mean, you're not seeing a lot of birdies, although Simon did get it. He had a circle 1 putt. So, he's the biggest name near the top. James Conrad, who like we barely saw on the broadcast, even though he was, until giving up a couple strokes late, taking the double bogey on 18, was having an awesome round.
Yeah.
Chris Dickerson is there as well, but none of these guys are like within 2 strokes of the lead. They're all 5+ back. And, you got to go way down there to find some players. I mean, for instance, Calvin Heimberg, he shot a 1 under today. He's out of the mix. It's over. His major chances in 2023 are over. Fork. Right? Like yeah. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do fork or oven segment after round 2. You putting it back in the oven, cook a little longer, still got a chance to come out with something nice, or stick a fork in it. It's done. So yeah, very interesting. Now, Josh, are you surprised? I talked about it yesterday. Freeman and Klein in particular. I came on here and I said, would you take the lead card or the field? Pretty much everybody said the field. And I said, well, I agree, but Joel Freeman and Kyle Klein have proven that they can play great at Winthrop, and don't be surprised to see them, still be in the conversation. And here they are at the top of the leaderboard.
Yep. Yeah, good call. Calvin, or excuse me, Kyle. Calvin also doesn't surprise me. Just kidding. Kyle does not, like, him being up there does not surprise me. We've seen the way he plays this tournament, and he's been in contention all the way down to a playoff. I see no reason why Kyle is going to fall off. Honestly, I kind of feel the same way about Joel right now. I don't know if I'm going to feel that way about Joel come Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays on lead card one more day. The question is, can he keep it together in the final round? I mean, that's really where we've seen Joel start to struggle, when you see the pressure start to get to him. I really hope we don't see it, but a big number on 16, 17, 18 tomorrow, I think could be really detrimental for Joel. I guess it's 15, 17, 18. If you're taking a big number on 16, you're doing something really wrong. But honestly, though, to see those two stay at the top, I obviously wasn't here yesterday, but I agree with you there, Charlie, and it makes sense why those players are able to keep putting together consistent 9 unders. They are on track if they continue at this pace. Joel Freeman, if he goes 9 under and 10 under again, that's 38 under. That's 5 strokes more than Gannon Burr won with last year. I think the weather, we had one round that wasn't as nice of weather last year. But yeah, I mean, it's a good pace, but it's not unbelievable.
Now, look, I know it's for very important life and family reasons, but do you think Macbeth is at home watching DGN being like, man, I should have gone. I would have won this thing. You think he's thinking that?
Probably. But sometimes I wonder if Macbeth thinks that when he watches the World Series. Man, I should be up there right now. I could be pitching this. Right?
Now, for what it's worth, we need to put into context, right? Now, the weather's been really good, so you got to keep that in mind. But Joel Freeman, 19 down through 2 rounds. If you keep that up, I think Gannon was at 33 to win last year, right? And that would put him at 38. Like, he's playing awesome disc golf. And I've seen people don't like Joel Freeman. I understand. Like, he just has a constant negative energy when he's playing disc golf. And like, when things go well, it's just like, well, yeah, like that's what I should have done. I mean, come on, like, I'm a professional.
Right.
And anything goes slightly wrong, it's like the world's out to get him. He's getting jobbed. He's looking for, advantages all the time. It's hard to root for. But you got to give the guy credit. He's playing great disc golf right now.
That's true. For reference, so Gannon last year, assuming par is the same, let me double check that real fast. Last year was par 64.
I don't think anything changed.
Yep, this year par 64.
There's almost no changes to the course whatsoever.
Right, and that's what I figured, but just wanted to make sure. So Gannon was 12 down at this point in the tournament last year.
Yeah, the weather was a lot worse last year in round 2, I think.
Yeah, yep. And the ratings definitely reflect that. A 55, which I think is what Joel shot today. Yeah, a 55 last year was shot by Jake Mon, and I guess Paul Macbeth did it too. So Paul Macbeth shot a 55 in round 2, and that was a 1070 rated round, and Joel Freeman's 55 was 1060 rated. So pretty stark difference in ratings there. But that being said, Joel's 1075 and 1060 is well above Gannon's mark of 1053 and 1050. Weather considered, I mean, that is meant to be a factor in the ratings, and it's clear that Joel is playing at a higher pace and a higher level, even with weather considerations, than Gannon did last year.
Great fact from Pilcher in the chat. Joel shot a 19 under combined in rounds 3 and 4 last year, but only was 3 down through rounds 1 and 2. So he's now 38 under through his last 4 rounds at Winthrop, which is pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible.
So can he keep it up? That is going to be the big question. I don't even know. I doubt UDisc is giving him credit right now. I bet he's not the leader.
I looked. Have you looked yet?
I just looked. I'm sorry. I just looked. I'm sorry. I spoiled it. Right. He is the ever so slightly ahead of Kyle Klein in the UDisc win probability. 31%.
What do you think of that?
Do
you agree with that?
I think if I had to put money down on one player today and say I'm going with this horse, I'm taking Kyle Klein.
Me too.
I haven't seen Joel close it out at a big spot ever. And last year he was near the top all the time and could never close it out.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear about a silver.
Yeah, okay. Right. No.
I mean, respect. That was a sick round, but it's just not the same thing. And the last time we saw him playing great at Winthrop, he completely melted down. And his putter's not exactly, cooking right now. He's playing great despite the putter. Let's pull the stats. He's slightly above average compared to the field. He's at 82 circle 1. And credit to him, 33% circle 2. But I honestly wonder how many attempts he's had. He's been in the circle a lot. Today he was just 1 for 6, I think. Yeah, 1 for 6 from circle 2 and 71% C1X. So he putted worse today than he did in round 1.
What's his tournament putting percentage right now in C1X?
82.
If you had to guess what his season average is, what would you guess right now? 2023 season average.
Well, he changed his putter at the beginning of the season. We had a nice interview with him. I don't know, probably like 85.
81.
Is that too high? 81.
He's 154th on tour in percentage. And now that's not obviously perfect because there are players on there who should not be considered on tour. But the thing is that like this is the best putting you're going to see from Joel. According to the law of averages, right? This is what you're going to see.
This is what you're going to get.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
To be fair, it's gotten him to 19 under through 2 rounds.
That's true. That's good news. But if he matches it up with 71s, I mean, all he's got to do is just have a little bit, get shaky off the tee, and his putting is not good enough to
bail him out.
That. Yeah.
I agree with that. He's got to keep throwing it good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, given his score, he's probably close to the leader in tee to green, if not outright lead. He's second behind Sullivan Tipton.
Okay.
And Jesse says in the chat, there's still room on the Tipton bandwagon. Is Sullivan Tipton going to Parker Welk this thing?
No way. A major, because here's the thing. A couple of things on this, right? Number one, he's got 2 more rounds that he's got to make it through. That is significantly more difficult. Number 2, this isn't DDO. He's not an Emporia. This is one of the most challenging courses that are designed to create blowups for a player whose mental game is not in the right form. No, I don't think Tipton is going to win this tournament. He may have a really nice finish, and the one reason he might win it, the reason Sullivan might win it is because the Tipton bandwagon is still very empty, and there's no expectations on him. But if he stays, Jesse, you're right. Like I would really have to eat my words. But Disc Golf Doug says it well. If Tipton Parker Welks this, then I'm completely losing faith in win probability stats.
Okay, but hang on.
All right.
Listen, obviously we can all agree that it's very improbable that he's going to win this thing. Yeah. That doesn't mean he's not going to win. Like the win probability stuff is for like, you know, if you ran this simulation, which is literally what it is, right? If you ran it 25 times, or let's say you ran it 100 times, they have him winning 4 of those times. That's probably too low given the level of play we've seen from him so far. But again, it's all based on what you've shown in the past, and what he's shown is that right now he's playing well above his level. And so do you expect it to continue for 2 more rounds? I mean, it could happen. Parker Welk did it, but it's hard to do it at a major. Yeah. The thing is, the heavy hitters aren't really hitting right now. That's true. So then, like, if it's him versus Kyle, if it's those 3 guys up at the top, right? Joel, Kyle, Sullivan, still after round 3. I mean, I still think Kyle and Joel have the edge, but I'm going to feel like, yeah, I think sure, Sullivan could probably pull it off. But, you know, if Simon's on the lead card, then okay, you know.
Yeah. Well, the hard part of it too is his best finish this year at an Elite Series or Major was 21st, and that was at Ledgestone and DDO. That's fine, but I mean the pressure here is going to be immense, and it's also not a Cole Redolin situation, right? Cole had been on lead card before, and it just, yeah, you're right. Like it could happen. It feels very, very unlikely. This course is one that really is designed to put pressure on people, and I don't think Sullivan has ever been anywhere near this kind of pressure, and that's going to be very difficult for him. Especially if he's on lead card after tomorrow. That's when it becomes probably excruciatingly intense.
At one point today, Joel Freeman was all the way up to 42% win probability. He had a 5-shot lead on Klein. He was 18. Klein was at 13. And then 2-shot swing. And then Kyle Klein, gets a couple more birdies, and Joel gets pars, and then, now it's super tight again. Yep. It's going to be a crazy finish. Like, we know this. I think that feels almost guaranteed. I think it's going to be tight down the stretch.
We've got 2 more rounds.
2 more rounds.
Here's the one thing that I will say that I think is the reason that we've got intrigue. You have 4 guys on lead card. 2 of them have been able to close out Elite Series events before. That is Kyle Klein and Bradley Williams. Joel Freeman is not. Sullivan, Tipton, very much unproven.
Mm-hmm.
When you take and remove those 4 guys, you have a large number of players that are very, very tightly bunched. And you highlighted, I mean, they're not the biggest names, but you can't tell me that if lead card comes out and struggles tomorrow, Simon, Chris, Matty O, James Conrad, Chris Dickerson, Aaron Gossage, Gavin Babcock,
don't disrespect Adam Hammis. Don't disrespect Adam Hammis.
Sorry, I just missed him on my screen. I had already scrolled that. Adam Hammis, you absolutely right. Like that list of guys who together have a fair number of Elite Series and major wins. If that lead card comes out slow tomorrow, you can bet all of them are going to be ready to try and take that chance.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. Well, one thing I think we're going to see is that more people are going to follow the Simon card tomorrow than the lead card. And remember this was moving day last year was when Ricky just like immolated.
Yeah.
he was just terrible in the first like 6 holes. And then literally the whole crowd went and watched Chase.
Yep. I remember that.
I think that there's going to be people watching Chase from the jump.
Right.
Just more star power.
Yeah.
And you know what though? Like we haven't really talked about Bradley Williams yet. He could win this tournament.
He could absolutely win this tournament.
He shot a 10 with a bogey today. And I love his game here. I love his game here. He was putting insane today. Insane. He goes 5 for 7 from circle 2 and just lit up the front 9. I mean, he left some strokes on the back is the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see if he can keep it going. So, okay, let's do it again. Kunu asks a question. Do you take tomorrow's lead card or do you take the rest of the field to win? if you make your decision today. Yesterday, everybody said the field. Josh, what do you say?
I take lead card today. I like the Kyle Klein, Bradley Williams. Really, I mean, those are the two guys to me that I feel like have the closing power necessary to win this tournament.
I know.
2 years ago, Kyle Klein was in a playoff with Paul Macbeth for this event.
If I had to pick one guy, I'm sticking with it. I'd take Klein.
Me too.
Did I put him on my podium? I feel like I did, but now I don't remember what my picks were. We're gonna look up the picks. Let's evaluate how our picks are doing right now.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I had Nicholas, Klein, and Eagle. Okay. Now I feel. Let's see. Nicholas, maybe he's
10 down.
Pretty much forked, but I think he could still podium maybe if he goes, crazy. Eagle, I mean, they're at the same score. I don't know. I don't feel horrible about my picks. No, I'm pretty happy I have Klein on there.
My picks suck. Gannon is down there. He's at 9 down, well below. And then Isaac Robinson's only at 7, and Anthony Barella's at 6.
Oof.
Yeah. Pretty brutal.
Ooh. Tough. I think though, even though I'd take Klein, I would take the field right now.
Okay.
Maybe that's wrong, but I saw a stat earlier. I think Evan posted it. The wind's going to be up tomorrow, number one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that for a forehand dominant player like Tipton. I think there's just the better players are the striking distance group that's below the lead card has a lot of very talented players on it.
Absolutely.
You just ran them down. So yeah. I think I take field on aggregate, but it's very close.
For reference, win probability gives lead card. That's
going to be a high. Yeah. Okay. That sounds about right. I feel like I'm taking the plus money side of the bet, but I will. I'm just going with my gut here. I'm taking the underdog. And Isaac says if Joel, Kyle, or Bradley can get to 26 under, you got to take the lead card. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chris Clemens out here. Oof.
Yep.
11 under today. That's sick.
That is sick.
Like, do 2 more of those and you're 35 down. You could win. That could be enough.
Look, there is nothing more sure than death taxes and Chris Clemens shooting at least one amazing round at USDGC.
It's facts.
Every year I want to be like, man, maybe I should pick Chris Clemens. And then he does a round like this, and that's what keeps me going. And then,
what is going on with that? Like, he putted incredible today. Let's take a look at the, so far this weekend, he's 88% C1X, good, not great, 58% Circle 2. Obviously, ridiculously good.
3 for 5 today, yeah.
On the season, he's an 87-26 guy. So, I don't know. He's Circle 2 putting's been a little above average, and that's certainly helping. But something about this place, he just always seems to play great.
Yep, the lefty.
Okay, I want to talk a little FPO, and then we'll come back and do Porker Oven.
People, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so really interesting FPO again. I have to say, I'm personally enjoying the FPO more. Once again, that's maybe biased. I'm personally watching more of that and I'm invested in it. But man, it was fun again today. After yesterday, super fun. Today, super fun. There was a soft patch to the end of the round when everybody decided collectively we're just going to stop making putts. But man, Ellie Midling just was phenomenal. Josh, I know you were busy with work and stuff. Have you seen what she did on hole 5?
I did not.
Okay. Do you even know? Like, do I need to tell you right now?
No reference for it.
Did you see what she did on 18 yesterday?
No, neither.
Oh my God. Josh didn't see what happened. Okay. Josh, I'm going to tell you this and I just want you to be ready. Now, Ellie Ezra, she outdrove everybody at the distance contest at Worlds.
Whoa.
She's 16.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I think we mentioned this, but yes. It was like a sideshow thing. Like, that's pretty cool. But
I jumped in. I thought you were about to say at the USDGC distance contest. I was like, Whoa, she outdrove Ella.
I don't know that I've seen the results from that, but I'm sure that
I'll go look while you're telling
Midling did something awesome, but maybe didn't outdrive Ella. Okay, 18 yesterday, absolute bomb off the tee to like near the crest of the hill by the Mando.
Wow.
And then perfect approach shot and had a 20-footer for eagle and made it.
All right.
First eagle ever in FPO on that hole. Keep in mind, they play the same exact hole as the men.
Right.
So she got a 3. Today, just launches. She threw, I'm going to forget the numbers. I think it was 390 with a 7 speed off the tee on hole 5. And then went over the water with a driver and made it. And then just laid up and tapped in for birdie. It was absolutely sick. It was sick. And she was playing incredible. I couldn't believe how poised she was. Yeah, I know she blew up on 17. Josh, she OB'd twice. Gave a bunch of strokes back. She's only 4 shots off the lead, though, because of how well she was playing to that point. So I think she was 8 under through 16. And man, just so much fun alongside some just awesome shooting from Henna. Evelina got a little sketchy with the putter, but seemed to get it back, hanging in there. Ella Hansen shoots a 10 today. It was a lot of fun. Kristen Tatar had one of those struggle rounds. I mean, when she just totally... There were some very strange shots today from Tatar. Yeah, she caught the bad break on 12 with the rollaway, but when she just completely missed the Mando so early on 7, that was crazy. And then on 18, just an awful upshot straight out of bounds, and she collapses to the ground and is just like devastated. It was a very strange off round for Kristen. And yet, how many times do we say it? She's only 5 shots back.
Kristen went OB 6 times today. That's, I mean, just like you highlighted. UDisc, have you looked at the win probability for the FPO yet?
No, I haven't.
What do you think they give Kristen to win?
It's probably 40%.
54%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels coin flippy.
It does.
She obviously would have to step up a lot from here, but with the sketchy putting above her, like Ev, Henna, Ella, Holland, I'm sorry. They're just not great putters.
Yeah, they are not. That's a rough group for putting. That's the biggest question mark, right? And of course everyone's going to say that is can all 4 of them keep the putting going? Evelina only putted 42% today, but still, stayed at the top. Ella, you ready for this? What do you think Ella's circle 1 putting percentage was? You might know this from the broadcast, but
I know it was not good. At one point in midway through the round, I think she made a couple late to kind of salvage it. But she was, I believe she was like 8 under at 22% C1X putting.
She did not attempt a circle 2 putt, and she only made 50% of her circle 1 putts.
Crazy.
Circle 1X. Now that number, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 putts. But I mean, that just shows you she was 78% circle 1 in regulation.
She was crazy today.
Yeah.
She was absolutely dialed in. I mean, when she had her 6 birdie streak from 5 to 10, the first 5 of those birdies were drop in.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, she on 9, she 2 putted. I'm sorry, I was confused because that's the eagleable hole 9.
Yep. But your point is very valid in the sense that don't count Kristen out. One bad round.
No.
5 strokes back from Evelina. Nope, not counting Kristen out yet.
Well, I mean, think about what happened to Worlds. She had that kind of sketchy round 2, and then she like stayed at the course until it got dark playing, and then came out and played great in round 3.
Yeah.
and she's just like a metronome. It's just constant rhythm. Tick tock, tick tock. She's going to run you down. And the fact is, the players in front of her could just outrun her at this point. They have some cushion, but
that is true.
She's the best putter inside the top 7. So very entertaining. I'm very excited for tomorrow's lead card as well. Evelina, Henna, Ella, Holland. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of middling again. Maybe she's going to pull off another insane shot. It's still wide open. Still wide open in both fields.
Well, should we talk about the players who for whom it is not wide open?
For whom it is over. I'm going to be a little more conservative after taking. Well, I think we did it after round 2 at Worlds, and there were 3 rounds left. Keep in mind, we only have 2 rounds left. So let's start an FPO because it's going to be a shorter conversation here. We got some players. I think we can all agree that everybody from Kristen and up is very much alive.
Yes.
Alexis Montejano and Missy Gannon are at 8 under. They're 6 shots back. I think easy back in the oven. They're still in it.
Agreed.
Okay. So then we go to Cat Merch at 6 under.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I don't think Alexis Montejano has it.
You think Fork?
I think Fork. I think Missy has the star power needed to shoot the 10 down that I think is really going to be required to get back in that mix. Alexis, I just don't think she can slow and steady her way to the front of this pack.
I think she's still she looked pretty good today. Yeah, she had some lucky breaks. She threw that one in on 8. But got a bunch of birdies late on some tough holes. I think she's good. She can do it. She was really good putting today. I mean, you can have your own opinion here.
I'm forking it, but
okay. How about Cat Merch at 6 under, 8 shots back of the lead?
I think she's probably forked.
I'm still going oven.
You still think oven for Cat Merch?
I do. I think she had I don't know. It's borderline, but she was 6 under today. She had one of the best rounds.
That's a good round.
I think if the leaders drop back, and I can see it happening, or shooting like 1 or 2 under, and she shoots another 6 under, then she's right there. I think it's still possible.
Okay.
How about Owen Scoggins at 5 under?
Owen is the last one that I'm willing to put in the oven.
I think I'm going to fork Owen.
You forking Owen? She shot a 10 last year, man.
I don't think she's got it. I think she's also wearing herself out with the arm injury.
She would be tied with Kristen right now if it weren't for the 9.
I know, but she took the 9.
Stop taking pics.
It's happening.
Stop it.
I'm sorry. It's happening. It's like who she is. This course is hard. I think it's just too little too late for Owen Scoggins.
Okay.
And for me, everybody below that, fork.
Everybody below is forked. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, you are too far back.
I just don't even see. Yeah, Silva had a 6 under today, but she's too far back to be in contention, and everybody else is just not good enough to get it done. Okay, let's go to the USDGC side. Where do we even need to start talking? I don't think we need to talk. Do we need to talk about Clemens and Oram and Conrad or Clemens and Oram at 13? I think very much alive.
Very much alive.
Okay, then we have Conrad, Dickerson, Joseph Anderson at 12 under. I'm still for sure. I don't even think it's a question.
Yep.
All right, so we get to the 11s. There's a lot of them. Ani Rusanen, Aaron Gossage, Gavin Babcock, Andrew Marweed, Evan Smith, James Proctor.
I think the 11s are still in it. But the problem is I don't think 11 is an unrecoverable score. But I don't know if these guys, like maybe Aaron Gossage is the one I give the nod to, who can make the run to the top. But I don't know if I give it to anybody else.
I'm giving Rusanen some credit because he had a 9 under today.
That's fair.
With a double bogey.
Yep. And he played well. He was at the top solid in European Open after round 2.
He's already shown us exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I know the name. He was playing good. I'm keeping him alive. Okay. Gossage, nope, fork. Not a good enough putter. I just don't trust. Gavin Babcock, oven. Andrew Marweed, oven.
Crazy.
Evan Smith, oven. James Proctor, oven.
So you put all of the guys except Aaron Gossage in the
Correct.
oven. Okay.
All right, to the tens. Tuomas Hutiainen. I can't. Gosh, I forgot. I've already forgotten how to say that one after European Open.
That's fine. Put a fork in him.
I think I'm with you. He did shoot a 9 today, though. Jesse Niemanen, Nicholas Antila, Alden Harris, Eagle McMahon, Ezra Robinson. Do you fork them all, or do you give anybody a chance?
10. That's 23 strokes in 2 rounds. They need an 11 and a 12, and it's going to be windy tomorrow to get to Gannon Burr's 33. I mean, okay, so let me ask you this. I think 33 is going to be probably the minimum required to win.
At this point, that sounds about right.
That's 14 strokes from Joel, 7 and 7. And that's 2 pretty good rounds, especially in the wind. So yeah. 20? It could be a little bit less. Eagle is the only one who I think has a chance.
Yeah. I'm going to say Nicholas and Eagle have the faintest chance to still make a crazy run. I don't think any of these other guys are just good enough to put together 2 monster rounds like that.
I don't think so either.
But I know Eagle can because we know what he can do. And I know Nicholas can because we saw him have some amazing rounds last year. Very faint. But that's the number for me. Below that,
no,
I'm saying, how about Gannon at 9? Do you give him?
Nope.
Too late?
He's 10 strokes back of the lead. No way.
I think
10 strokes. He's got 10 strokes back, and he's got 24 guys, 23 guys ahead of him.
If he goes 12-12, and for what it's worth, he was 8 under today with a triple on hole 6. So he could have gone 12. Right? If he birdies hole 6, very birdieable. He could have gone 12. So he has a 12 in the tank, and he goes 12-12, he gets to 33.
That's true, but I just he didn't do it in pristine conditions today. And it's gonna be windy tomorrow.
But it's gonna depress everyone's scores equally.
And that's true. That is true. But the difference is that
I actually think it's worse for the trailers to have it be windy.
Because you have to push.
Yeah.
Because yes, maybe you can shoot a 10 instead of a 12, but shooting a 10 in windy conditions is harder than shooting a 12 in calm conditions.
All right, I'm gonna say it. I'm doing it. I'm putting Gannon in the oven. But it's just the slimmest amount. But that's it. Everybody else done.
I barely put Eagle in the air fryer, let alone the oven. The fact that you put Gannon in, crazy.
I hear you, but I just know he could shoot 2 12s. He could shoot 2 12s. He could. It's very interesting though. A lot of guys in play. Still. And with the guy with the lead that no one feels super confident in, I think that makes a difference as well.
And that's true. But man, Kyle Klein being up at the top is if you replace Kyle with, I don't know, replace Kyle with Anthony Barella. And maybe I put Gannon back in the oven.
Yeah, no, Kyle deserves respect.
Kyle deserves respect
at Winthrop, for sure.
He's earned it.
As does Joel, to be fair.
Yeah, that is true, but I mean, Joel doesn't.
Okay, wait.
Tournaments.
Who?
Wait, what?
The I'm thinking about who would be a first-time major winner. All of the top 8 would be first-time major winners. And then you have James Conrad and Dickerson in 9th.
Yep, that is correct.
And then you go a long way before you find another major winner.
Yeah.
All the way down to Eagle in 18th.
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you this. What odds would you need on Conrad or Dickerson? Or I'll just give the whole field. First-time major winner versus, multi-time major winner to win it? What odds would you need to take to bet on multi-time major winner?
10%. What would?
Oh, wow. 10%? You want 10 to 1?
Yeah, I want 10 to 1.
Wow. I don't think it's quite that. I don't think it's quite that low of a chance.
What do you think? 7 to 1?
I'm gonna pick my odds, and then I'm gonna look at what the win probability says.
Okay.
Just to give have some kind of.
I'll find the win probability
neutral analytical thing. So some of those guys' percents. I would say it's like plus 250. I mean, if you gave me if anybody wants to give me 10 to 1, I'll make a bet with you off the air. If anybody wants to give me 10 to 1. But I think it's more like 2 to 1 or 3 to 1.
You ready for the win percentage?
Which would mean somewhere between 30, let's call it 30 and 50% win chance. I'm ready. It's going to be lower than that. I know it.
11%.
Wow. Well, my offer stands. I think, would I bet it at 5 to 1? Probably. If somebody wants to give me 5 to 1, I might take it. Hit me up. All right.
Oh, Josh, Stumpy Man says he'll give you 5 to 1.
All right, Stumpy, we'll talk off the air.
That's crazy.
I have to think about it more. And then that's when money comes on the line, that's how you figure out what you really think.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Yep. Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let me give one chance for rapid fire questions here. Yep. If you have a question or you have a comment, throw it in the chat. We have one from Isaac right now. We'll get to that. Is not having repeat winners better for USDGC prestige or worse?
I think that's a really good question. And the answer I'm going to give actually is probably a cop-out answer. It doesn't matter. What matters is what happens for that player afterwards. So the fact that Gannon wins USDGC and then goes on to have, the most wins on the season right now, that's like that is the indicator, right? It is Gannon's christening of like being a real contender in disc golf. And so I don't think that's bad for the sport necessarily. Dickerson, same way. If USDGC had random winners who never won other events ever again, then you have a problem. But as long as you're winning with players who then become established or are already established, I don't think it's a problem if it's a different winner every year.
It's never really felt like we've had a fluky winner, right?
No.
Macbeth, obviously not fluky. Dickerson, can't say he's fluky. Conrad, not with the way he's played over the course of his career since he came onto tour in like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, no.
Nate Sexton in 2017. I mean, he was a top 5 rating guy.
Absolutely.
Germ would be the biggest one, and that was the shortened round, so who knows?
Yep.
Schusterich, like at the time, was the best player.
Won 3 of them.
Brinster, this is really getting before my time. So I can't really speak to Brinster's peak abilities. That's the one that feels like the most surprising. But then before that, it's like, Nico, who was this wonderkind, Das, Feldberg, Climo, Schultz.
Right. Yep, that's fine company for me. Is Ricky forked? He's got 2 -15s in his ability.
He's completely forked.
I will take any odds that you put on that.
I agree. I think he's like a plus 10,000 in DraftKings right now. Like, if you want to just give DraftKings money, they'll take it.
I hear that if you bet Ricky, you can write that off on your tax deduction as a charitable donation.
The better question is, and I think it's fair to ask this. I wouldn't have said that a year or 2 ago, but I think it's fair to ask it now. Will Ricky win another major? It's been a while, and he hasn't exactly been up at the top.
I'm going to say no. He last season was his best chance. He was too good. He was so good last season, and he couldn't get it done at the majors. This has become the storyline for Ricky, and the problem is that his play is not getting better.
Yeah.
His health.
I give him a little bit of a pass because of the weird like time off, and
but that doesn't go away.
I know, but I think I would want to see him really bounce back next season to feel like I think he could win another major. I still think he could. I think the odds are like 20% that he gets another one.
I think that's too high.
Wow.
That's too high. Because I mean, how many players do you give their odds of winning a major at 20%?
I mean, just let's keep in mind, don't have too much recency bias. The guy was the player of the year last year.
I said he was great last year, but what was his average finish at majors last year? Let me pull Statmanda real quick. Hold on.
Three Boot says, I'll take it. I don't know if that means he'll take the plus 10,000 odds or.
Let's do majors.
Unfortunately, as a not sports book, I don't think I'm personally willing to take on that much risk, but I bet you can find someone in the Discord.
As a non-sports book.
Like, I mean, yeah, I liquidated Ultiworld by betting against Ricky Wysocki to win $50.
Ricky wasn't bad at the majors. He was second at Champions Cup, and then
he was second. What do you mean he wasn't bad? Yeah, he was a second.
I forgot he was second.
Jesse says it would be a great last article for Ultiworld. Oh man, I would make national news. Like, I would go on like Scott Van Pelt, like, bad beat segment. I'd make a new career. It's like I don't know what people would pay me for at that point, but let me tell you what not to bet on. I would become a risk manager.
A hedge fund manager whose everyone's investments are only in sports betting.
Does Calvin hurt his player of the year chances with a poor finish here? That one comes from Stumpy.
I think so. Like, how do you not knock Calvin for his performance at the majors this season?
You do knock him. It's just, do you knock him enough? I think it makes it all very murky.
Yeah.
Like, if Calvin plays flat for 2 more rounds and finishes like outside the top 20, where is he right now? He's down there. He's in 33rd. Oh my God. Like, if he finishes 50th or something, I do think it affects people's voting. He hasn't won for a long time.
Since April.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And I think it really hurts. It really hurts you when you start to get a little distance from the season and you look at the holistically.
I've been saying that.
I think if he comes back and finishes respectably like top 15, then I don't think that voters are going to not give it to him, especially with Isaac not really doing anything either, because Isaac is also in 33rd.
So that's true. So you mean if Calvin gets back in the shed of always contending, but he's not. That's the hard part, is like his finishes are good at the majors, but he hasn't been in contention.
The problem is nobody has won enough to like outweigh his consistent top level play. I think that's the problem for me.
We'll have to talk more about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a conversation if Calvin has a trash finish here. That's for sure.
Yeah. This is the first year I'll say that I really think that the Pro Tour Championship can play a massive role in Player of the Year. Typically, by that point, I don't think it's as big of a deal, and I typically do not give it as much weight when I consider Player of the Year. It also, because of the format, means that other players have won that are not in the conversation. Like,
let me give you the hypothetical.
Yeah, sure, I'm ready.
Let's say that Isaac and Calvin finish in the same spot outside the top 20. I don't care where.
Great.
And then at the Pro Tour Championship, Isaac wins. I think Isaac wins Player of the Year if he wins the Tour Championship.
I think so too. I think Gannon wins Player of the Year if he wins the Pro Tour Championship.
Yeah.
He's got as many wins as Calvin. He's got more wins.
That would make it very complicated.
Yeah, it would. But this is the first year that the Pro Tour Championship really feels impactful to me. Really impactful.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, last one for tonight. More majors the next 5 years. Rick, Calvin, or Simon?
Oh man, this one's so hard. I mean, with that group,
They're all major chokers, right? Like they've all done nothing in the last 5 years. Right. Have any of them won in the last 5 years? Answer: no. They've won 0 in the last 5 years.
Stumpy man, plead the fifth. I like that answer. I probably pick Calvin.
You got to pick Calvin.
I think
Calvin. Calvin has to be the answer because of the level that he's at, and he's at least a couple years younger than these guys, right?
Well, and you got to talk about injury history with those two. Like, he's paired next to two guys that in 5 years could look like dinosaurs in the sport, who you're wondering where their walker is, right? Like those two. God, Josh. So, come on, both of them have missed major time because of injury or illness, and they are both significantly older than Calvin. Like,
well, let's find out the facts because I don't actually remember exactly.
Okay.
How old they are. Dang it, I pulled up the wrong article. Hang on. How old are the competitors? Thank you, Jesse Weiss, for compiling this information for us so that we can look these things up and actually know. Calvin is 27.
Okay.
Simon is 31. And Ricky is not on my sheet. Where is Ricky? Is he Richard? He's Richard. He's 30. So Calvin's 3 years younger than Ricky and 4 years younger than Simon. I think that makes it a really easy call.
Yeah.
Got to pick Calvin.
Yep. I agree with that. As much as it hurts my soul to give that answer. I mean, the thing, when Calvin wins one, same thing with Anthony Barella. Calvin wins one major.
You think it's floodgates?
I think it could be floodgates. Heaven help us if Anthony Barella wins a major first before he wins anything else. Because, man, you're not going to watch anybody else win for the next couple of years. Like, that's how I feel about both of them.
Going to be fun to see what happens.
Jesse Weiss says he'll take Sullivan Tipton over all three.
Bro, what if James Conrad just goes nuts the next 2 rounds and wins another one? That, for me, Hall of Fame. I mean, I think maybe he's already in the Hall of Fame.
He's already in the Hall of Fame.
Because of the holy shot.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, if he didn't have that, I don't know if he's quite in. But now he would be so in if he won another one.
I wouldn't put him in without
the major messiah. I forgot about that. He's had a quiet season, but I swear to God, the year he won USDGC, he had a quiet season.
Yep. Now you're thinking, Charlie, anything can happen.
Hey, baby, I want to take 5-1 on these guys. I'm like talking myself into it. All right. Man. That's going to do it for our rapid reacts here from round number 2. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with you tomorrow night for round number 3. If you're checking us out over on YouTube or on the podcast platforms, become a subscriber today at discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe, and you can get all of our rapid reacts, including the next 2 rounds on Saturday and Sunday night. That wraps up our discussion of round number 2. Moving day comes your way tomorrow. Things are going to be very interesting these next 2 days. Welcome to the weekend at Winthrop. Fans are already out in force. It's going to be packed out there the next 2 nights. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow.